Welcome back to another episode of Big Boys. In this, the penultimate episode of our second season, we discuss the concept of Flanderization, the progressive exaggeration of a single trait or set of traits until it overtakes all other characterization. We think to ourselves, have we become Flanderized, or is it time to rebrand? You decide, this week on Big Boys.
Prepare to be mesmerized and or mortified.
Well, what's happening there?
Old Sorrel's here had himself a nap.
You son of a...
Yeah, clever. Kind of soft and only like in one ear.
If I had a nickel for every time I heard that.
Look at those boys, ain't they?
Big Boys with Brian Hickey and John the Great. Greetings, everyone. Welcome to another edition of the Big Boys podcast. I'm your host, Brian Hickey. With me, as always, is my co-host, John the Great.
What's up?
All right, and John, this is season 2, episode 9, I believe.
That sounds accurate.
Yeah, this is our 21st episode. Our episodes are of legal age, finally.
Yeah. Well, to drink, yeah.
To drink and to smoke now, I think, is the age to...
Which is ridiculous, by the way.
Yeah, I was going to say, man.
I'm not even a smoker, but like 21 to smoke, like, come on.
These kids can't do anything these days. It's no wonder they're losing their minds on the TikToks and all other sorts, right?
I mean...
They can't properly kill their brain cells like we were able to at 18.
It's kind of ridiculous if you think about it, like, especially this day and age. Cigarette advertisers, they haven't been able to actually advertise, at least not on TV, for cigarettes in decades. They might still be able to do print media, but who, especially younger, is really consuming print media?
Exactly, dude. And it's like, yeah, all this stuff too, like, you know, whether it's booze or cigarettes or what have you, none of this is going to keep it from getting in the kids' hands, you know? And I say kids, again, we're talking about someone 18 and over who is of legal age to vote and, you know, participate in our democracy. Like, you're not, like, yeah, if these people are going, not even, they don't even necessarily have to be going to college, which, you know, it's obviously an easy place to get it there, but just know someone, I don't know, 3 years older than them.
Yeah.
Pretty plausible for them, you know, to get it.
Well, so, if they can get their hands on stuff that's actually illegal, you know, not to mention kids were getting their hands on alcohol, which has been 21 for years. That really started. I'm like, oh, you think cigarettes, that's going to change? Not to mention, if you actually look at the data, younger generations are smoking a lot less than like their parents' generation.
Oh, for sure.
And so on and so forth.
Yeah. And hypothetically, allegedly, it just makes these kids do dumber decisions without thinking about it because, again, you know, like it or not, your brain doesn't fully develop until you're 25, and you'll make a stupid decision like me, hypothetically, allegedly, you know, used, I say a fake ID, but it was really in someone else's ID that was like passed down through generations that like looked like a generic white guy, you know? And like I only did it a handful of times, hypothetically, allegedly, before I like kind of clicked in my head, like, wait a second, this isn't just a fake ID. This is someone else's ID. This could be considered like a felony. Like,
yeah, identity theft.
Yeah, like, I'm not going to use this thing anymore.
Yeah.
And you know what? Honestly, didn't slow me down one bit. You know, I think I was 19 when I made the decision. Still readily able to get fucking booze whenever I needed.
Especially if you go to a college, like, especially if it's anywhere like remotely a party school, you're going to find it. If people are going to have it. Yeah.
Yeah, and buddy, did I go to the remotest party school of Texas?
No, you went to a full-on party school.
Like, I was going to say, yeah.
Yeah, it was a party school. Yeah.
Shout out to SFA alum and current students there. You guys know what I'm talking about. Hell, you're probably fucked up right now listening to this. Yeah.
You know, well, and that's what got me is like, I definitely did not go to party school, which was lame because I went back to school older. Like, I'd already been drinking a few years, you know?
Yeah.
And it just, now, probably didn't help that I didn't live on campus. I commuted like 15, 17 miles to school.
Yeah, but you kind of went back and forth, though, eh? Didn't you and Chris Taylor, didn't you guys live on campus at what I mean, when did you guys get your place over on Weatherford? Because that was a Weatherford dorm, was it not?
Yeah, that was a dorm. They were called they were like apartment style.
It was an apartment for sure.
But they weren't full on. Like they didn't have a full kitchen. You had a sink and a mini fridge.
I mean, that sounds reminiscent of almost every apartment I had in my 20s. So we'll call it an apartment.
Yeah, I mean, we all had separate bedrooms. It wasn't like some dorms where you're just sharing. We had separate bedrooms. And there was obviously a living room. Place wasn't that big, but you kind of got used to it after you're living there a little while.
For sure. So what you had, John, was a cheap ass apartment.
Basically, that's what it was, a cheap apartment.
Yeah.
And you made do. Like we had a little George Foreman grill and a toaster oven, so we weren't cooking like full on meals, but considering we were like 19, like that did its job.
Oh yeah. Oh, so you guys didn't even have like a stove or anything then, huh?
No.
Oh,
now
shows how much we were cooking back then. I didn't even notice,
But part of it, when you were lived in those dorms, you also had to get what they called the meal plan, so you could eat at the dorm. I didn't eat there all that much. I should have made more of an effort to eat there to save money, but I also
surprises me.
At the time I worked part-time evenings, and that place only had certain hours.
Right.
So a lot of times I was going to work at 5. If your last class was like 2 or 3 o'clock, maybe you could have some time to squeeze in there. But a lot of times you go to there's a place called The Grill that had different hours, but you could go there and grab a burger or something. And I would do that a little bit more often. But a lot of times that little time I would try to take a nap or something before I had to go to work. And then.
Yeah. The old campus life.
Yeah. Then, lived at home for a little while and,
Yeah, you just you ping pong back and forth between the school, working on that. What is it you eventually ended up getting? Was it a doctorate? No, a master's.
No. Well, from Weatherford, it was an associate's degree.
I was going to say, no, a master's? No, a bachelor's. No, 2 technical certifications.
Yeah.
No, you actually got a bachelor's. I'm just
eventually
fucking with you. Yeah. Which is, hey, I'm not knocking it. It's the same, level of education I got. And you know what? We are about equal
and
playing
yet we're
field.
both sitting here doing this.
Yeah, exactly.
And
who's the joke really on? The joke really on?
But that's what I say. When I went back to finish my bachelor's, I went to definitely not a party school. I'm sure some of that happened. But maybe I just didn't get the right friends. Of course, at the time, I wasn't really looking for it. Like, by then, I was like 26.
Yeah, you were like,
you're like the
studious Pluto at that point.
I wouldn't even say I was a good student then. That's just poor habits in general, not because I was partying too much. But at that point, it's like, all right, class is over. I can go home. It's like, what do I need to hang out here for? I can buy beer at home. Yeah.
And I'd have to assume, just being a commuter probably made a world of difference in that regard too. Like, I technically my whole time in college, all 4 years, I was a commuter, but I lived like maybe a mile and a half from campus. So it wasn't like really like I was ever that far away,
I think that happens to a lot of people. Like I know guys down in San Marcos with like Chris and them, they were that way. They lived in a separate apartment, but it was like a mile.
And it's a college town.
Like, yeah.
Sure. Yeah. Like I would say San Marcos is probably up there in terms of, they might have been more of a party school because they actually had like legit bars around campus. Like, well, no, I guess we did too. No, I would say it's both San Marcos and Nacogdoches is definitely 2 college towns where it's a lot of college parties and shit happen.
Most definitely. I think the geography of San Marcos down there in the hill country helps because you got other things like floating the river to do. I don't know if anything like that was in Nac. I'm saying I don't know. I've never been.
No, we had that's right. You never once visited me. Never once. But we had hot springs. There was a lake down there. So there was definitely things of that. But there was the river floating. I'm not gonna lie. I'm pretty jealous of that.
Yeah.
Had that. Which, man, I'm sure people died. Again, college towns, drunk kids, they probably died in all sorts of ways. But didn't a good handful of kids die, like getting drunk on the river floats?
I'm not going to say that's never happened. I don't recall hearing about it. but at the same time, I don't think that river, especially in a lot of the parts where people float, I don't think it's that deep.
Right, but it doesn't, like, again, we're talking about a drunk ass 22-year-olds, like all they need is a puddle to drown in.
I'm sure it's happened. I don't know. I don't recall.
And usually you don't even have a body of water for that. That could just be their own vomit.
Now, then again, I want to say the last time I was down there, which has been quite a number of years ago, floating, it's probably like 9 or 10 years ago by now. It was we were in a real bad drought. I think the river was pretty low. I don't know what it's like when you have regular rain, but
I just remember like the tide. Am I saying that right? Or the current or whatever? Yeah, the current, because there's no tides in a river. Yeah, it was very strong and hard to like get out of the floaty when you're 7 beers deep or whatever. And I kept remember just slipping and busting my ass just trying to get out of there.
It just depends on where. I think there's parts where it gets more rapid like that, but a lot of it's like lazy floating.
Yeah,
which is pretty cool.
It was good times. It was good times. I loved hanging out on the river there. I went river floating when I go meet you guys down there in San Marcos. Well, I guess you never actually technically went down.
I never really went and lived there for a while.
Yeah, we were both visitors at the time we went, and
I was going down like once a year there for a period. I'd use my vacation to go hang out with those guys.
Never to visit me though.
You were already back by then. By the time I was going down there.
Yeah. I did the tried and true. Get the degree in 4 years and then spend the next decade of your life not figuring out what the fuck you're going to do with it.
Yeah. Hey, I'm headed that way now. I'm just doing it later than you.
Yeah. Nothing wrong with that. You're still young. You're still pepping. Still pepping. That's not a thing. You're still peppy, and you still got life about you. But hey, before we get going on our segments, I want to say a shout out of sorts. Now, two very unrelated things. Now, John, I don't know. You're aware that there is a Screen Actors Guild strike going on right now, right?
No, I knew there was a Writers Guild strike, but I guess there's a SAG one too.
Yeah, both of those are going on at this moment. And now I am not in the Screen Actors Guild currently, but I am in full support of everything they're doing there. So the caveat of that is I still get to audition for non-union things. My audition, auditions as it were, I'm staying very busy with that, regardless of the strike. Like, it doesn't affect me because, again, I'm not a union member. Again, still in full support. However, one of the caveats, if you are a member of the Screen Actors Guild, like, say, I don't know, our good buddy Joel, who we've, hinted at that had been working on something this past year, a really big show, that we're very proud that he was able to get on and is now currently the series is releasing new episodes weekly right now. All that is to say, one of the caveats of the Screen Actors Guild strike is that no actors can go around promoting their current works as part of the strike. And so on an unrelated note, we love our good friend Joel. We're excited for the work that he's putting out there. And this is not him promoting a work. And this is not even us promoting this work. This is us just saying two different things that are unrelated to each other. We love our friend Joel. He's a phenomenal actor. There's also this HBO show called Winning Time that's on its second season. And it's a great show. It has a lot of different characters in it. The main character, the main story revolves around Magic Johnson. And the actor who plays that guy.
Oh, I know the show you're talking about.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, and I don't know the guy who plays Magic, but he's a phenomenal actor. The show's great. It also has a lot of supporting characters, portraying different Lakers that came about at the time. A lot of them kind of escape me. There is one character that is based off a real person named Kurt Rambis. Again, two unrelated things. We love our friend Joel. We love, the work that he puts out in the world. And there's also a character on this show who is based off a real Laker named Kurt Rambis. Anyways, two unrelated things. Joel's a great actor, does great work. There's an HBO show called Winning Time, and there's a character on there named Kurt Rambis that I myself am looking forward to see more from. So once again, not related at all, but and I know you, John, are personally just can't wait to see more Winning Time and the many little small cameos of Kurt Rambis in this show.
I definitely may have to watch it. Yeah.
So yeah, that's all I'll say about that. And we also have some segments here today. Did you got the email I sent you, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So I want you to scroll down further in your email. We have a potential new ad read here for a potential new sponsor called Junk Spunk. Have you found your place there in the email?
Yeah, I didn't read that part of it. I read the first part, but yeah.
Okay, well, as long as you found your place in there. Now, I want you to read for the character of Bob. It's just a generic name, just almost kind of an infomercial of sorts for this ad read that we're going to do for this great new product called Junk Spunk. And you got your place there on the email?
Yeah.
Okay, well, let's go ahead and read that
Yes, sir.
for our potential ads here. This is Junk Spunk. And I'm going to read the role of the narrator here again because fingers crossed, if they really like our ad read, they'll start supporting the show. So here we go. Junk Spunk. Are you tired of the same old blasé everyday routine of your boring, meaningless life? Have you been endlessly searching for something you fear is impossible to find, such as the meaning of life, happiness, or a tolerance for lactose? Well, then it's time you learn about the healing properties of my sensational new product. Hi, I'm Dr. Casey Kewen, MD, innovator and author of the Muskogee Times bestseller Sensation Jubilation, and founder of Gyration Jubilation Therapy. In my book and therapy techniques, I unearth the ancient secrets of divine happiness buried deep in the subsects of our blissful ancestral artifacts. And now I'm delighted to report that my findings have allowed me to patent a new ancient technology that can propel you to nirvana just as our ancestors were able to in the earliest times of recorded history. And let me tell you, folks, this thing is a game changer. Introducing Dr. Quananon MD's ancient futuristic technology, Junk Spunk. Finally, some spunk for your junk. It's the ultimate tool to spice up your daily routine. It's compact, portable, and a total explosion of elation. Picture this. You're stuck in traffic, right? Your day's coming unraveled like the toilet paper on your undiagnosed hemorrhoids. Well, that's when you reach into your pocket, partner, and release your Junk Spunk. And splam! You've got an instant party unpacked right from your pants.
Whoa, hold on a sec. My own personal party package on the go?
That's right. With the simple strokes of the palm of your hand and curled fingertips, Junk Spunk rockets you into an extravaganza of ecstasy. No red lights are going to stop you from accelerating full throttle into the euphoria of self-fulfillment. Junk Spunk will have you turning heads. All eyes are going to be on you in this traffic jam party.
Finally, the attention I deserve.
You betcha. But wait, there's more. Junk Spunk isn't just about self-sustaining pleasure parties. It's got versatility. Need an instant motivational pep talk? Junk Spunk channels your inner coach.
Seriously? How does it do that?
Shut up and I'll tell you. Junk Spunk feeds your inner monologue with uplifting phrases like, "You've got this, handsome," and "You look good in leather," or "No one has ever been weirded out by the amount of leather you wear." And before you know it, you'll find yourself swelling with confidence. It's like having your own personal cheerleader in your pocket.
I like cheerleaders. But hold on a sec. Junk Spunk is a party machine and a motivational guru all rolled into one?
That's what I just said, jackass. But that's not all. Are you ready for the piece de resistance?
Tell me.
Junk Spunk also comes with a metaphorical confetti cannon. That's right, folks. You can celebrate life's victories, big or small, with a shower of colorful confetti.
I am personally blown away, folks. Confetti at the grasp of my curled fingers. That's wild.
And that's just the tip of the iceberg. Junk Spunk is your secret weapon against boredom, your pocket-sized partner in pizzazz.
More foreign.
Sorry, you're right. Go ahead.
More foreign words. Wow, I'm convinced. Junk Spunk sounds like an absolute unpackable pleasure, ready to blast me and my neighbors in the face.
You're darn shooting. So if you're ready to eject some spunk back into your life, grab yourself a thick cylinder of Junk Spunk today. Remember, you don't have to let monotony get you down. Let the good times roll with Junk Spunk.
Hey, everybody, look who's got some spunk spurting back in their lives.
Oh my God, no! Junk Spunk. Because if you've cranked it out of the car or alleyway since you've heard this commercial, you owe me money. All right, so John, just open the curtain here. This is not a real advertiser. Would you believe it that I actually wrote this piece of ad copy here?
Wow, okay, I thought it was another Chat GPT.
So it kind of it was originally I tried to figure out if I can get a version of ChatGPT to unwillingly write like a piece of crass ad for me, and so that was the original first draft. But I have rewritten the shit out of this. The only thing that are really from the first draft that I kept that I thought was funny was picture this: you're in your car, right? And then it's the thing about the confetti cannon, which I still rewrote that to making a metaphorical confetti cannon. But yeah, the idea was just to try to see if I can get our ad read to be kind of crass. So these are we'll probably record. Me and you will probably stick around after this and record another version of this because I'm trying to use this as for a series I'm going to put in my 5-minute fart outs. Go to 5-minute fart out on any of your podcast platforms. That's a new little 5-minute or less podcast that I'm doing. I'm trying to use this as a series of crass commercials, I'm going to call them, for my 5-minute fart outs, which is kind of honestly going against the whole idea that I had when conceptualizing 5-minute fart outs, because up until this point, it has mostly just been, things that I had just come up with, and improvise, within 5 minutes or less. This is, a lot more work. Did a lot of writing on this one, and I have this, and then I also have another old, crass ad read that I'm going to throw in there as well.
So is this about jerking it? I'm still trying to figure out what this is.
This is basically just about jerking off.
Okay.
Yeah, and I'm just, somebody trying to sell jerking off as their own product. Because if you look at, you listen here, it's really like there's no.
Well, that's what I was trying to figure out. I was like, so is this for like a lube, or is this like something that makes it fucking smell good? Or
no, I just like the idea of someone, like someone who's all about like the healing arts of crystals or what have you. Just thought like he could patent the idea of masturbating.
Yeah, he's like, just do it. It cures everything.
Yeah.
Can't go to sleep. Do
that. But it's my idea. I patented it. So if you masturbated since you've heard this commercial, you owe me money.
All right. Well, I'll Venmo you after this.
That's the spirit.
Yeah.
See, it works. Look how happy this guy is.
See? Now I owe him money.
and that kind of brought me to just thinking existentially, John, like maybe you can answer this question, but what is our podcast?
Big Boys.
Right. What is Big Boys? What are we about? What's the show about?
Well, that is been a struggle since day one, you know?
It really
What
has.
Yeah.
Like, what separates us from all the other podcasts out there? What's our, our gimmick, our niche?
I don't know. I kind of like the idea of us talking about movies like we did last week.
Yeah, and that's actually gotten a really good return.
Yeah. Then at least that's something like, yeah, we're a movie discussion podcast.
Yeah,
And it doesn't matter. We can trail off and talk about anything, but there's got to be a central theme to every episode.
What got me before that, though, is our most, listened to or watched episode before that was literally an episode that is in the title. It says clickbait conspiracy theories. Like, we literally told you, audience, this is just clickbait, and yet that is the one that has the most listeners and views.
True, but also if you don't have the context and you're just reading that clickbait conspiracy theories, that could go a lot of ways. They could be thinking, oh, maybe they're going to tell us like something about clickbait, or like, oh, maybe there's conspiracy theories on clickbait that they're going to reveal to us. Like, so I can understand that piaking some curiosity.
For sure.
And then afterwards, they're probably like, oh, they were literally just telling us this was clickbait. All right, well played.
Yeah, which actually I don't think would make for a terrible idea. And it would probably require a lot more research on either of our person to figure out like what makes these clickbait conspiracy theories.
I mean, after all, we do enjoy the arts. We're big supporters.
We do.
So
yeah. Which, speaking of, not to get on too much of a tangent there, and this is actually kind of an older one, but have you heard about the conspiracy theory that birds aren't real?
Oh yeah, that they're used to basically deploy devices from the CIA to
spy cameras.
Yeah,
and this is so nuts that this actually I imagine most of it is just as a joke, but like the people that are taking it seriously, it's like, how could you conceptualize this as a serious conspiracy theory when we have these things called smartphones that have a camera? Like, the CIA is watching our podcast right now. It's just getting a weird angle of my chin and my neck. Yeah. You know what I mean? From my camera phone. Why would we ever need to deploy birds or fake birds to view us?
I mean, I guess the idea is that they've been doing that a long time. They didn't just be like, all right, guys,
they're not gonna,
are out, but they're just not cutting it.
Yeah, we're not going to scrap all these birds.
Could I believe that the CIA maybe has some devices like that? Absolutely. Do I think that birds don't exist and they're all CIA devices? No, I don't believe that.
I don't think that's actually even the conspiracy theory, which is even more nuts, is that it's just some of the birds aren't real. Most of the birds aren't real.
I don't even know if I could believe that. I could believe maybe the CIA has released some fake bird spy devices and you can't tell the difference. But the fact that all or most of the birds aren't real, I don't know. That just seems a little too far.
Yeah.
Especially anybody that's ever parked under a tree and come out. It's like, if so, they're building some sophisticated, like, these things even fake defecate on my property. Like, well,
you never know what technology we'll find out about when they release the report on the aliens,
Yeah. I like it. I think it's so funny how nobody really cared about that.
Yeah, it's just like, well, it came at a time too. Just like, I think one of the best memes I saw or whatever was like just a guy who looked like he was exhausted sitting on his couch, and a gray alien is like, "I'm here, aren't you interested?" And he's like, the guy's just like, "Bro, I got a lot going on right now."
Yeah. I think it's also pretty thinly veiled that people are asking a lot more questions now of like, how many years have we been asking, like, what about Epstein's client list? Whatever happened to his girlfriend? They're still that shrouded in a lot of mystery.
Yeah.
The economy is doing terrible. Inflation's at an all-time high. And then it's just like, what about all these things? And the government's like, aliens, huh? They're real,
yeah.
Huh? And to be honest, my thought on that is, if they are real, then they've been here a long time. Like, that's nothing new. It's like, I'm a little more worried about AI, despite the fact that we use it frequently in our podcast.
Yeah, well, I'm not worried about us with AI because, we're cool with chat. We're only nice. Yeah. I mean, we may have given some constructive criticism now and again, but,
But it was constructive.
It was very constructive,
Yeah.
I always say please and thank you when I'm, getting these
But I've
ideas.
seen Terminator enough to know, like,
Yeah. Like, but in this version, like our Terminator, ChatGPT is going to be like the Steve Buscemi, Billy Madison Terminator of like.
yeah, we're gonna. I'm so glad I apologize for that guy. Like, yeah.
Oh, it's gonna be great.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, so while having this existential crisis of trying to figure out what our podcast is, what are we doing? I also want to figure out, I want this to potentially take off into other avenues of entertainment.
Of course.
We did a pilot some number of years back that kind of got like some local recognition, but unfortunately it didn't really take off too much further than that. We had some development companies kind of like take interest in it, and then immediately be like, well, no thanks. But they looked at it.
Keep your chin up.
Yeah, exactly. And our chins are still up. I still want us to, make some sort of content for streaming or network television or what have you.
And your chin's up. I don't even know if my neck will bend. My chin's been down for so long. I don't even know if my neck will bend that high up anymore. Like,
well, that's why I got to keep my chin high for both of us. I know you're weighed down by life and your beard. So, and the other
wild today.
Yeah. And the other version, or not the other version, the other part of your email, if you'll scroll back up to your email there.
That's the part I read.
Yeah. Which I haven't read this at all. I had chat just kind of give us a nice fresh outline for what a new multicam sitcom could be for us. For the John the Great and Brian Hickey show, if you will. And I'll just read you what I wrote to it. I said, again, please, because I want us to remember us when it turns Steve Buscemi sentient.
Remember me.
Yeah. I said, please chat, write me a half-hour multicam sitcom concept outline for a comedic duo about two lifelong unmotivated friends named Brian Hickey and John the Great who blow up in the entertainment industry. And this is what we have. The title is Unlikely Stardom. Genre, multicam sitcom. Setting, Los Angeles, California. So get ready to move there, Johnny boy.
Yeah, we'll see.
And episode 1, The Spark. Introducing Brian Hickey and John the Great, two laid-back friends with big dreams but zero motivation. John, sound familiar?
It's on track so far.
Yeah. They accidentally create a viral video while attempting a failed stunt, catching the attention of a talent agent. Now, here's an idea for the podcast.
So we're Jackass, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
I can see us doing that. I'm Brian Hickey. Welcome to Big Boys.
Yeah. This is my friend John. Watch me hit him with a bat.
I was going to say, then you just kick me in the nuts.
Yeah. Yeah, or something like that. Yeah.
Agent convinces them to pursue a career in entertainment. Well, Agent, I got news for you. You don't need to convince us at all. We're in way over our heads as it is.
I brought my own pen.
Yeah. Episode 2, Rising Fame. Brian and John navigate auditions and industry events with hilarious mishaps along the way. Well, it's actually, that is pretty much my life right now.
Yeah.
Maybe less for John's because he, he's not, he doesn't have the hunger for the, what am I looking to say here? He doesn't have the hunger for the crippling defeat of going out to audition after audition. And
I could maybe use some of that hunger instead of just like regular hunger.
You said it, not me.
Yeah. I'd trade a little bit,
Yeah, well, both are unfulfilling. You're never really full.
Yeah.
They score a small commercial gig, but their overconfidence leads to on-set chaos. Well, minus the on-set chaos that has been essentially my career as an actor. Despite the mess, their chemistry shines through, gaining them a small following. I mean, it's, again, pretty spot on. Episode 3, Behind the Scenes. Brian and John land a recurring role in a popular TV show as bumbling sidekicks.
Does that mean what were the guys on Laverne and Shirley? Do you remember that shit?
I'm right
We're
now.
gonna basically be them, Lenny, and something else.
I'm trying to I don't know if I definitely know the show, the name of the show, and I know that it was a sitcom, but I'm trying to what was the concept of that show? Like I just
Lenny and Squiggy, yeah.
We're gonna be Lenny and Squiggy? We could definitely be a Lenny and Squiggy.
It was basically kind of like that period of they were two roommates and they worked at the Milwaukee Brewery, and they had two friends that lived upstairs, Lenny and Squiggy.
Oh, okay. Now, who played the titular characters of Laverne and Shirley?
Oh my goodness, let me see. Oh, they were a spin-off of Happy Days. I didn't realize that.
Oh wow. There's many spin-offs of Happy Days then, huh? Because you
two
had
friends and roommates who work as bottle cappers in the fictitious Schatz Brewery in late 1950s Milwaukee, Wisconsin. The characters, it was Penny Marshall and Cindy Williams.
Okay, yeah, I thought Penny Marshall was involved. Yeah,
I think she was Laverne. Yeah.
Yeah. Which I didn't realize those were characters from Happy Days, or that Happy Days was set in Milwaukee.
I did know that at least.
Okay. Yeah, man, they had many spinoffs of Happy Days. I mean, Laverne and Shirley, Joni Loves Chachi, right?
I don't think. Well,
I'm sorry.
I don't know.
Is that Charles in Charge? Is that?
No, that's from Happy Days.
Yeah, but that's the same show as I'm saying. I think Joni Loves Chachi was like their saying or something, right?
Yeah, I don't know if that
Charles
was
in
actually
Charge.
its own show.
Yeah, I think that was Charles in Charge. Isn't Charles also Chachi? I don't know.
No, never mind. Joni Loves Chachi was a show for 2 seasons.
Oh, it was. Okay.
Yeah.
And then Charles in Charge is also, right?
Is that a spinoff?
I don't know. I thought it was. Maybe I'm wrong. And then there was, was Mort from Mort?
Yeah, that's true. Mork and Mindy was technically a spinoff. Yeah.
So
that's probably the biggest. Well, I don't know. Laverne and Shirley were pretty popular, but
yeah. My God, man, that's well. Then again, this is before cable television.
It had Charles in Charge had Scott Baio, who had previously starred in Happy Days. I don't know if it was a spinoff though.
But Joni Loves Chachi was, and that is
because they were playing the same characters.
Yeah, and he is Chachi, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Maybe Mork and Mindy, and that's what gave us. So that means in an alternate history where maybe Happy Days was canceled, we may never have gotten Robin Williams.
Maybe. Well, I mean, he's also. I think this is kind of similar to our clickbait conspiracy episode of saying that OJ wouldn't have murdered his wife. Like, yes, that if he hadn't met his wife, like yes, that might have not happened to her. That tragic death may not have happened to her.
It may have just happened to another woman.
Would happen to somebody else. So I think also, Robin Williams. As long as he was, attempting a career in the entertainment field, the man was so goddamn versatily talented.
That's true, especially for like a one-of-a-kind talent like that. He may have. I mean, he was still a stand-up comedian, so it may have just been. Yeah. It may have delayed his career, maybe, but yeah, it would have been probably just a matter of time.
Yeah, just kind of like kind of like our careers.
Yeah. See. Let's compare ourselves to Robin Williams now.
Hey, man. Well, the two of us together makes like a quarter of a Williams.
Well, you know what? That's not unfair. Just because you're comparing something doesn't mean it has to be a good comparison. So exactly. I mean, we can, So,
ask me my mother's maiden name.
I'm gonna guess it's Williams.
It's Williams.
Okay. Huh. Michael Jacobs did. He was a creator for Charles in Charge. I see that right here.
I don't know who that is.
He also created, amongst many other shows, a favorite from our generation, Boy Meets World.
Well, it's Boy Meets World.
Yeah.
Right on.
Yeah.
I like that show because there was a world, and the boy met it.
They met. Yeah.
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 Eventually, it became a Man Meets World.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, that show was on for quite some time.
We think that, but really, and I mean, I guess this is a decent achievement for any show. It was only like 7 seasons.
I mean, yeah, I guess you're right, huh? But I mean, it followed him from what, 8th grade till college, getting married?
Yeah, those 7 seasons were, I mean, I guess very formative years in any young boy's life.
Well, also, like, we talk about like shows and like how vastly they change like over time. You know, like that one probably had the biggest growth from the way that they follow the characters and the way the characters developed. I mean, like my favorite actor in there, again, his name escapes me, but the guy who played his older brother, and he does a lot of voice acting now.
Will Friedle, or
Yes,
Friedle,
yeah.
however you pronounce it. Yeah.
Yeah, his character development changed so vastly from like the first, 2 seasons till the way it ended, to where he was just like, a raging buffoon by the end of the show.
Yeah, the early seasons, the first couple, he's just kind of the cool older brother, but he's relatively normal.
Exactly.
And then somewhere along the way, he's just an idiot.
Yeah, but God, he's so good, man. I want some more Will Friedle in our life.
That there's a term for stuff like that. It's kind of like called Flanderizing. It was coined by Flanders from The Simpsons. Well, Flanders didn't coin it, but it's based on his character. And it's like the longer a show goes on, characters just become,
the more quirky they become.
Well, yeah, and like basically they become more and more of just a stereotype of themselves. And it's kind of like Flanders in early seasons versus now. Now it's just the same old rehashed Flanders. Well, I mean, he goes to church. He, all that stuff. Like he's.
But he has so many different layers though to him too now. Like he's secretly jacked.
Yeah,
he's.
Sure. I mean,
he's tickets. Yeah, tickets, please, guy. Buff.
Yeah,
under his church shirt,
which is always hilarious.
Yeah,
because there was that one episode. I'm trying to remember what it was, where Homer's like mad about something. He's like, "Stupid, sexy Flanders."
Yeah. So maybe that could be our thing. We could be the sidekicks to this Will Friedle vehicle that gets him back and the public's eyes. Because my God, what a talent that man is! Yeah. Will Friedle, wherever you are, we hope you hear this, and we hope you need 2 sidekick goon characters or what have you, 2 dopes to be side characters in your new vehicle for a sitcom. You know what? I'll even go one further. Will Friedle, reach out to me. We'll write this sitcom for you.
Yeah. Okay, but while we're on this subject, here it is. The definition, when it says the progressive exaggeration of a single trait or set of traits of a fictional character until it overtakes all other characterization. So Flanders isn't the only character. Same things happened to Homer. Like, the early seasons, he was just kind of the maybe a little dim-witted, but well-meaning dad who just had a factory job or a plant job, I guess, And as it goes on, he's just more and more of an idiot. Like, I know it is a cartoon, but he just becomes more cartoonish. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. He develops more as a character. Like, so what is the when you're saying Flanderizing or whatever? We'll move on from this in a second. But like, what do you like? What was the point where he became?
I would have to this
character.
might make me. I was actually just thinking about rewatching the show again, and this might be push me over the ledge.
You were never going to finish that show, John. Jesus Christ.
No, I meant Boy Meets World. But yeah, The Simpsons. Yes. I need to hop back on. What do you mean I'm never going to finish it? I'm only like 2 or 3 seasons till the end.
You'll always be 2 or 3 seasons till the end because that show will never end.
Here's hoping.
Yeah, exactly.
Despite any criticisms I may or may not have, I'm always going to be in the Simpsons corner.
As am I. Again, I haven't kept up with it in years, but I'm just happy to see that it's still out there. It feeds my aspirational goals of having an animated show. Which again, another vehicle that I want us to pursue at some point, especially with AI going the way it is. Maybe we can come up with an animated show that we could cheaply produce, hopefully in the near future, and who knows if anything new is going to make any money for creators in the future. But that's a whole another topic to digress into of like like with all these jobs being taken by AI, is anyone going to get paid? You know?
Hard to say. Now, to answer your question, I don't know exactly where in the show it happened. It had definitely happened by like the last like couple seasons when they're at college.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, for sure.
Actually, it may have happened about the time that Eric got to college, because obviously he got there before Corey did.
Right.
And I think there was some time in between, where Eric didn't go to college, because there was also that time they road tripped and stuff.
Well, he definitely again, it was a gradual change, but I like the one that I was like and I could be wrong. Maybe I'm thinking of some other show, but I'm pretty sure at one point, didn't he like disguise himself as like a piece of furniture for something, for spying, or
there was something like that.
I was just like, okay, yeah, this is like gone full shtick now, which again, I love Will Friedle's performance. Did you ever see, he did a movie in the 90s. It just didn't really make it. And it's a weird concept, but it's called Trojan War or Trojan Wars, maybe.
I've never seen it. I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
I want to go back and rewatch it. You know what? That's what we're going to do for our 10th, our grand finale. We're going to find ourselves Trojan War or Trojan Wars. We're going to go back and we're going to just bask in the glory of Will Friedle. And then we'll figure out the sitcom we're going to write for him as well.
1997, right? Oh, that Jennifer Love Hewitt. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, so they were definitely just seeing how he was going to perform in this. And, I don't know. I guess the movie obviously didn't take off. It had Lee Majors in it, too, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, and there's also, I think, wasn't this R-rated? No, it's PG-13. Okay, never mind. I was saying it might have been their attempt to see if he could translate into more, I guess, kind of adult comedy,
Well, I mean, I kind of say like for like his age demographic at this time and the comedies that are being produced around that time, like no teen comedies were going full blown R up until I want to say Superbad or thereabouts.
Well, no, I don't know. You got to think just a few years after this. 01 was actually the next year. Scary Movie. It was 98 or 99.
I guess that that's translates more, I see it in my eyes, just a spoof of teen comedies. But I'm saying like a straight up, this is a teen comedy, this architect of like, they're not putting, farces on the concept of a teen comedy. You know what I mean?
No, but
because they very much address in Scary Movie of like, I think that at one point they even make a joke about how they all look 30 or something.
Yeah, but Fast Times at Ridgemont High, 1982. That was R.
Was it?
Pretty sure I'm looking it up here.
Okay, that's a good point. But
actually, I'm pretty sure it had full frontal nudity from one of the characters. I'm almost certain it was R.
That's also.
Yeah, it was R.
This is a valid point, but I also want to make the argument there. I don't think PG-13 existed at the time.
Actually, you have a very good point. It did not come about until 1985.
Yeah, because if it did, then I guarantee they probably would have like made some changes, which I love the way that it is. But.
I still think it would have been R if nothing else, because you had the
What's what I'm saying? Nudity. They would have probably taken that out though. Like if they would have, if there would have been.
I mean, we could speculate about that all day, but as the movie stands, I think it still would have been R.
It's as the movie stands, yes, but I think as the commercial vehicle that it was, trying to gain like as wide as audience as possible, they probably would have cut back on the full frontal nudity.
Maybe. I know that's the reason a lot of movies try to go for PG-13 is there's more wide commercial appeal, but that's a dangerous sword to play with because sometimes people want the R rating. Like,
yeah.
Now, it wasn't exactly a comedy. It was like an action comedy, Deadpool. People wanted an R-rated Deadpool. They didn't want them to water it down and go PG-13,
Yeah, it would have been lame as shit.
Yeah.
And I was about to say, like, a PG-13 Superbad, which, in a way, there is a version of that exists because there is a TV edit,
Yeah.
But, I mean, again, like, those things don't even become big until, the R-rated has become so, huge that they want to syndicate it on television. Anyways, let's finish up this here. But yes, next week for our 10th and season 2 grand finale, we're watching Will Friedle's Is it Trojan War or Trojan Wars? I think it's Trojan War, right?
Yeah, Trojan War.
Yeah, we're gonna watch that, and we'll talk about that, and then this new half-hour comedy that we're gonna center around Will Friedle, where we are his I don't know, lackeys, goons, whatever, side characters. But anyways, okay, so they Brian and John land a recurring role in a popular TV show, The Will Friedle Show. It's bumbling sidekicks. They struggle with the demands of fame, facing wardrobe malfunctions and awkward interviews. I mean, we've already done that on the smallest scale possible.
Yeah.
Go back and look at our interview for us trying to promote our pilot. Man, is that cringeworthy? I think I said at one point that I had a gun. Like, terrible stuff.
Yeah, that was. Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember that. I'd forgotten about it till you brought it up. But yeah.
Yeah, you can find it on the internet there. Show explores the contrast between their off-screen laziness and on-screen antics. Episode 4, The Odd Couple. Brian and John move in together to focus on their careers. Well, we did that without the focus on our careers. Their conflicting lifestyles and habits create a series of comedic misunderstandings. That is our very existence. They learn to appreciate each other's quirks while navigating the challenges of living together. Episode 5, Hollywood Highs and Lows. The duo's popularity soars, leading to invitations to exclusive Hollywood parties. I don't know about that. They try to fit in, but end up causing chaos at an A-list event. Amid the chaos, Brian connects with a down-to-earth actress, God willing, sparking a potential romantic subplot. Episode 6, Going Solo. Now, I do find this interesting that even with little to no, inference, they have kind of casted me as more the straight man of the duo. You know, it's typically the straight guy, the straight man, and the comedic duo. It's the romantic subplot, which is kind of the way that we've developed our stuff in the past. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah.
Yeah. Episode 6, Going Solo. John gets an offer for a solo gig, leading to tension between the friends. Brian struggles with feelings of jealousy and insecurity. Eventually, they realize their dynamic is what makes them special and choose to continue as a duo. Episode 7, The Big Break. Johnny boy.
Yeah, I see.
There you are. Okay. Sorry, we lost John for a second. I see. Episode 7, The Big Break. Brian and John get a chance to headline their own comedy show. They work tirelessly to put on a great performance, facing setbacks and stage fright. Well, I don't know about working tirelessly. With the support of their friends, they deliver a hilarious and memorable show, satisfying their stern. Anyways, who cares about the rest of this? We've figured out what we're gonna do here.
Yeah.
Will Friedle vehicle, and then
I'm sure we get at least for a cameo.
for sure, man. We'll slip that in the contracts of us, being the writers and creators of the show. And what is as we're wrapping up here, what is old Will Friedle been up to now? You're still on his IMDb, right?
Let me see. I can get to it very quickly.
Yeah. Because I feel like you started to see significantly less of him after Boy Meets World ends, right?
Oh yeah. I'm kind of disappointed in that to a degree.
I am.
Now he's done quite a bit of voice acting.
Yeah, I know, which is great, but at the same time, the kid's a star. In order to be shoveling up the shadows. Is it all voice acting stuff?
The majority of.
Yeah.
I mean,
what's something on camera that he's done of recent that we should also check out, perhaps? And your camera just went sideways.
Oh, goodness. This is stupid. Stupid phone.
All right. Well, there you go. Okay, you're good. All right. What else has Will Friedle been up to on camera?
All right, let me get back here and.
Okay.
All
That's it.
right.
Because we're experiencing long, awkward pauses here.
Well, that's mainly because that messed up.
Yeah, it's not your fault at all. But all the same, the principle still has to apply, John.
Okay. Well, I'm trying to say here, and you keep. So you had Third Rock from the Sun in 01. See, now you're just playing them. And yeah. The random years. It was 02. Gold Diggers.
Gold Diggers. What is Gold Diggers? But this is 2000.
This was 2003.
Yeah, I went recent as you.
I'm trying to. Hey, that also had it was a National Lampoon film. That had the guy that played the Shermanator from American Pie.
Wait, what was this called?
Gold Diggers.
Gold Diggers. Okay, I might check that out as well.
Let's see, because I'm having to actually read here. Oh, he was a voice in Howl's Moving Castle. That's interesting.
I'm sorry, what was that? I couldn't hear you over here.
Well, exactly, because you keep playing
he was a what? I'm sorry.
It's Howl's Moving Castle.
Howls? What's
yeah,
that?
as in like what a wolf does, a howl.
Oh, okay. Moving Castle.
Yeah. You don't know that?
No, I do
No,
not.
it was one of the big I'm trying to think the company that did it. They were one of the big anime companies, not They also did like Ponyo and
Not Crunchyroll?
Studio Ghibli. That's it.
Okay.
It was one of the big Studio Ghibli films. It's actually a pretty cool movie. It's a feature length, yeah.
Okay.
Let's see what else. So obviously he was a voice in Kim Possible. Mostly what I'm seeing is voice stuff.
Who was he in Kim Possible?
He was the sidekick, Ron Stoppable.
Was he?
Yeah.
Huh. Maybe I just attributed the traits of that character to some other actor. I thought it was a blonde guy. But no, what is his most recent project? Can you scroll up to that?
Well, I have, but again, it was mostly voice. So I was starting to go back, and then we could go up and kind of see, because otherwise, Now he's a voice in the most recently the Legend of Vox Machina.
Oh, okay, that's cool. I've been meaning to check that out.
He's Kashaw or Kashaw, however you pronounce that.
The same animators who did the Boys, animated whatever you want to call that miniseries or whatever. It's the same animators as that, if I'm not mistaken. That do what is it called? Vox Machina.
Let's see here. I got off of it now. Yeah, the Legend of Vox Machina.
Right. Yeah, I hear
or
good
maybe
things.
That's Vox Machina.
Anyways, yeah, I think you're right. Vox Machina. Yeah, we're intelligent people.
Well, I know because there's the same Deus Ex Machina.
Right. So that was his most recent thing. He's voicing that. What character does he play?
Well, see, then there's this one called Critical Role, but that's not really exactly it's different. It says that's a live weekly show in which a band of professional voice actors improvise, roleplay, and roll their way through an epic Dungeons and Dragons campaign. That might actually be fun to watch.
So is it like a YouTube series?
I don't know what it's on. I'm just on IMDb looking at his roles here.
All right. Well, we might check that out too, just to kind of prep for our finale.
He's in 8 episodes of it, so not all of it.
And someone's
my goodness. Work won't leave me alone.
Go away, work.
Yeah.
Get out of here, work.
So let's see. But other than that, I'm mainly seeing voice. What's this TV series? All work and no play.
Okay, when was this?
2018.
All right. So 5 years ago, but still fairly recent in our eyes.
Well, that's I think when the show came out. Let's see. All work and no play. Yeah, 2018.
And is he a guest star on that, or?
I don't know. I'm having to look quickly here because I can't actually really take in any of this information without you playing Bert. Yeah, see?
She's so glad you sent me these.
Yeah. Hey, you know what? I still stand by my work.
I do too.
Yeah. What is this? All we're going to play. Friends and Critical Role cast members hang out and get into shenanigans.
Oh, so it's like this is a comedy. Like this is like a sitcom.
I guess so. Yeah, everybody's like, well, no, I don't know. Everybody's playing themselves.
That's still
It
possible.
looks like it's the people from Critical Role, the one that we were just talking about.
Okay, I guess I'll have to look in and investigate myself.
So it looks like another, yeah. I'm not seeing a ton of. Oh, it looks like then Girl Meets World, where he reprised in 4 episodes the role of Eric.
Is that show still on the air?
No,
No, that one.
and it was a serious downgrade.
Yeah.
I tried watching it a few times. I watched the first episode when it came out and it was crappy, and then a couple of years ago on like a drunken Friday night, tried watching several episodes, and it just. In my opinion, I think it is just not as good. I realize the demographics are a bit different. This one's a little more geared towards, younger girls,
Yeah.
of which I'm not, obviously. But I
Those
don't
girls
know.
aren't getting drunk on a Friday night trying to watch that.
yeah, but maybe there's nostalgia. I can go back and watch Boy Meets World, and it's still just. I think it's objectively better if you were to compare them side by side.
Well, for sure. I mean, but yeah, it's also objectively there'll never be an unbiased viewing experience for you or I because there is that nostalgia level.
Yeah.
But yeah. Anyways, unless you got anything else to add, I'm saying let's wrap up.
Okay, so we need to watch Trojan War.
Yeah, we're gonna watch Trojan War, and
Let's see
we're
if it's
gonna.
streaming anywhere,
That's a good question.
so we don't have to buy something else.
I feel like we might have to, but
We could probably find it online.
yeah.
I'll just go to one of those sites or whatever.
And we don't say it on a recorded podcast.
Well, that's what you could do. I'm saying you probably shouldn't, because it's
No.
This is a different movie called Trojan War that's about the USC Trojans.
Probably not as zany as the one with Will Friedle.
Oh,
But
no.
anyways, ladies and gentlemen, that is our 9th episode of the 2nd season. Thank you for tuning in. John, stick around, and we're going to re-record Junk Spunk one more time for potential use for my 5-minute fart out.
All right.
Well, how about that for another episode there, dear listener? Yes, just one more until our grand season 2 finale. And we sure do hope you get to tune in with us as we overview the overlooked Trojan War of the great starring vehicle for the great Will Friedle. An exceptional actor. And if you ask me, The Boy Meets World should have been a bit more centered on Eric and the world that he met. For I know myself and other friends of mine who viewed that program found his storyline just riveting, titillating in fact. Just seeing old Will Friedle do all of his zany shenanigans in the great, great series that is known as Boy Whom Meeteth the World. Yes, please do join us as we look forward to that, and as we've stated many times on this program, I and my dear boy John do indeed look forward to the much needed hiatus that will be coming after the season 2 finale, as I am one who has many things going on right now. And it's not like I'll be, taking a break from things that have to be done. It's more like, hey, let me take some time away from doing this awesome creative stuff that I enjoy doing and put more time into my community service hours, which, hey, someone's gotta service their community. And the courts say that someone has to be me. So I'm not fighting that by any means. But it's a lot of hours, and it's grueling, and long story short, I'm meeting my minimum requirements of doing it, but I want to get off of the probation sooner than later. Well, I'm gonna have to double down on them hours, dear listener. So that is gonna be the plan for the next month or two after this series finale. It's gonna be old Bry Guy just slanging left and right. Community service here, community service there, community service everywhere, but more specifically just the one place that I have been court ordered to do the community service. Just one single designated place that I have to constantly remind myself not to say the name of, because it's a great place. They do a lot, but every now and again I'm gonna probably talk some shit about the zany stuff that goes on there, and I don't want any beef with that establishment. As the zany things that go on, just it's part of the territory of what comes with being a place where you help those in need. Zane stuff happens, much like anytime you throw Will Friedle into a starring vehicle, or co-starring for that matter. But I do look forward to next week as we dissect the great film Trojan War. I remember watching this, I think I was a teenager. It was definitely on one of the movie channels. It probably came with a free trial whenever my parents changed from different satellite companies. But I do remember thinking, oh, this is a delightful gem I never, knew of. Made in 1997. Alongside starring Mr. Friedle is the one lovely J. Love Hewitt. And what a lovely Hewitt she is. Not to mention, I believe Lee Majors makes a cameo on there. I don't really remember how big his role is, but it's enough to get top billing. So there's a major enough role for the Lee Majors to appear in this War of the Trojans. And if you're wondering, is this a period piece centered around the great Trojan War that has been taught about in so many history books? No, dear listener, this is the story of a high school gentleman who has to go about finding a condom, be it a Trojan condom, as I assume they were a sponsor of this fine feature film, in order for him to lose his virginity. Oh, what a fine, fine piece of cinema this is going to be to consume. I can't wait to just devour its delectable contents. And we look forward to sharing more about that next week. So tune in for that once again. Like and subscribe. Follow us on the Big Boys Pod Spot. You can find us on our website, bigboyspodspot.com. Yata, yata, yata. And in closing, as always, I'd like to say, Como se llama hermana? Lo siento, Pinto. Good night, all my fellow North Texans. And Alvita say to all my Angelinos. Sweet dreams, world. And to everyone in between, whether it's the universe or a galaxy far, far away, please Do hear what I say. Have a great day, a great afternoon, a great evening, and just a great existence. And we'll see you next week on the Big Boys Podcast.
Big Boys is a podcast produced by Not So Funny or Proud Productions. The team consists of co-hosts, co-producers, and co-editors Brian Hickey and John Sorrells, better known as John the Great. For more information about the duo or this show, please visit us at bigboyspodspot.com. Or feel free to take a gander at our production page, notsofunnyorproud.com. Look us up on social media and follow us at Big Boys Podspot. New episodes drop every Thursday on every popular podcast hosting platform known to man. So please be sure to like, subscribe, vibe, describe, contrive, confide, collide, abide, preside, tell your tribe, and most importantly, do prescribe. Me and Elixir for talking out the side of my neck.